What is going on, gang, gang? As you can see, I sound or hear, as you can hear, we sound bad. We sound bad. I honestly, this is the first words that I've spoken this morning, and I'm realizing I sound worse than I did. Also, I'm seeing somebody was messing around with the settings. You see my name popping around there? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. We got to change that. I like it better. Let's change the layout there. Although now I don't even know. I don't even know how to do it. I don't even know how to do it. Anyways, we got a busy one today. Actually, that's not even true, guys. We don't have a busy one today. There we go. We fixed it. We don't have a busy one today. Yeah, I need some water. I need more than that, man. I need hope. I need a prayer. We're going to cover some of last night's action. Guys, Ware. Kel'el Ware. We love it. We were talking about our guy, Kel'el Ware, forever. And it finally came to fruition. The Miami Heat finally started him. I'm very excited about it. So hell yes. There's what we got going on today. All right. We're going to talk some hoopy hoops. We get some trade fodder. We're going to look at tonight's NBA action. We're going to make one of the best pick'ems of all time. All right. And then we're going to talk a little old man hoops because there's a combination of why I sound like this. Friday was a long day for me. It was a lot of talking. And then I hung out with some friends on Saturday and on Sunday, and then did some content on Monday. And I think my voice is slowly caught up. And then last night we had old man hoops. Guys, you want to know what time my basketball game started last night? I'm 40, by the way. My game started at 9:15 p.m. I'm 40. 9:15? So I didn't get home until 11. And then my adrenaline was pumping, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So, anyways, I'm probably not as fresh as I've ever been, but I feel good. I feel good. It's going to be a great show. Snoop Loop in the chat says Happy National comes in from the cold day. It is 7 degrees in New York City right now. I took my dog out this morning. Nay, I attempted to take my dog out this morning, and he did this. He was like, absolutely not. Let's get back in there. We've got, I need some water. Stubbs in the house. Let's go, Stubbs. Happy birthday to Caitlin Clark and Dylan Brooks. That's right. Pistons Hawks tonight. Get ready. Get ready. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Like the stream, subscribe to the channel if it's your first time here. Also, yesterday, we dropped a video breaking down some of the second half standout stars, and I shared a social clip from it. And you want to know what was sick? In the video, I said, by the time you watch this video, maybe by the time you watch this video, Kel'el Ware would have already started alongside Bam Adebayo for the Miami Heat. And then bang, bang, it happened. So that was pretty sick. But let's get into it. Before we start with Kel'el Ware, we are going to start with Miami, the Miami Heat, because there was some stuff that came out last night that was a little weird, and now I can't find the tweet. What the hell? All right, so there's some rumors here. Oh, I got to switch the assets here. We got to switch the assets so we can see what's going on. Hold on one second. We're going to do... Guys, I apologize. We're all over the place this morning. Bang. No, not that one. Bang. We're going to do that one. And then we got to switch this down here. This is really good, especially if you're listening to the podcast. Bang. All right, there we go. We get some trade smoke. Smoke it up. Smoke. The Jimmy Butler stuff has started again. There was a couple of things that were popped up around. Now, again, this was like clutch points reporting, which on the Woj bomb scale is like 1.4, I think. It's not a good one. Let's start with Brett Siegel here. So again, a 1.4 on the Woj bomb scale. So I wouldn't like lose your shit over this right here. Stubbs, it's minus 15. Where are you? It's minus 15 in Ohio today. Anyways, here we go. Brett Siegel, again, of Clutch Points. So one scenario that two different league sources tell Clutch Points involves Jimmy Butler going to Phoenix and Milwaukee, moving out of the second apron by moving Pat Connaughton to Toronto. This then turns into Bruce Brown, Chris Middleton to Miami, Beal, Love to Milwaukee, Portis, Connaughton to Toronto. So, and then I saw Tomar Alzari of also Clutch Points said, so in this trade scenario, Jimmy Butler goes to the Suns, Bradley Beal goes to Milwaukee, Kevin Love goes to Milwaukee, Bruce Brown goes to Miami, Chris Middleton goes to Miami, Bobby Portis goes to the Raptors. Pat Connaughton goes to the Raptors as well. Now, I have a question for you, the listener, the viewer, the logical person. Why in the hell would Miami do this? Why would they do this? Now, unless there are some picks being involved that I'm not seeing here, but I don't think Milwaukee's got a ton of assets right now that they can move. I also don't think Phoenix has a ton of assets. I think they have that one first-round pick that they can still move. So why would Miami move Jimmy Butler? I mean, Kevin Love, whatever. Kevin Love, new comic, stand-up comic, Kevin Love. To get Bruce Brown, who, listen, no disrespect to Bruce Brown, but Bruce Brown is somebody that helps a team. Bruce Brown is like the missing the missing piece that gets a title team to a next level or a contending team to a next level. Why would Miami turn Jimmy Butler and Kevin Love into Bruce Brown and Chris Middleton? Chris Middleton, who's had 4,000 ankle surgeries in the last 2 years. Like, why? Why would they do that? So I again, it's clutch points. So I'm going to chill before we actually see anything come of this. But I don't know. Am I missing something, chitty chatty? Are you guys looking at this being like, this makes sense? Because like Phoenix, I get it. They want to move off Bradley Beal. Jimmy Butler makes sense there, although it doesn't really help with floor spacing and they don't have a ton of shooting. But what? Well, they got shooting in KD and Book. But so whatever. Jimmy Butler to the Suns. Yeah, for sure. Bradley Beal to the Bucks. For sure. It's basically a healthier version of what Chris Middleton is, right? Because right now, Chris Middleton can't really play over 25 minutes. And clearly there's some vibe issues in Milwaukee, even though they've been ripping off W's. So, like, why? Why would in Toronto? Yeah, Toronto is just like we're getting some stuff. We're getting Bobby Portis and Pat Connaughton. Although, let me tell you, Bobby Portis in Toronto, you want to talk about fantasy basketball? You want to talk about fantasy hoops? Bobby Lobby Portis in Toronto would be just fantasy gold. But I don't really see this happening. Another not so real trade thing that I saw last night. Again, I don't know the officialness of all of this, but we'll share it just for the comedy. For the comedy, we'll share it. Denny Avdia reportedly in some rumors, which it makes sense for Portland to move off of Denny, but this one, I don't know how real this is. Sources confirm that Phoenix Suns and Portland Trailblazers have been in discussions in recent days for a deal that would send Yusuf Nurkic back to Portland. Denny and Dwap Reith would be headed to Phoenix in this deal. Now, I could see if there's like a pick involved or this is getting him way under the cap, maybe I see this, but it is just hilarious to think about Yusuf making his way downtown to back to Portland. Although if this is like a buyout situation where you're basically trading to get some assets and then just buy him out, then maybe. Stubbs said, is Cam Johnson getting traded? He looks good. I mean, Cam Johnson does look good. You have to imagine that he is getting traded. Brooklyn is going out of their way right now. They got the Danny Ainge helmet on, and they are Frank the Tank. Cam Johnson will get traded, and I think like his asking price is going to be interesting. Now, I know OKC, a lot of people have just been like, dude, Cam Johnson to OKC, they get the most amount of assets. They do, but can I ask you another question? I mean, maybe I'm overthinking it, but Cam Johnson to OKC, how many minutes does he play? Like, who are you playing him over? You playing him over Dort? Is that who you're playing him over? Is he playing like 16 minutes a game? So I kind of think that OKC doesn't really do that unless they just do it to make sure nobody else gets him. I just don't know who they would play him over. Again, he'd be an incredible fit. Honestly, I don't know what Cleveland's assets look like. If Cleveland could make a move for somebody like Cam Johnson, I mean, that to me, I would legit just take them over Boston, I think. Because that is really, listen, they're piecemealing that position together between Karis LeVert off the bench, Georges Niang, whether he's starting or off the bench, Dean Wade. And if you could turn those guys into somebody like Cam Johnson, and again, I don't know what your picks would look like, but I like it. Tesla said Raps will definitely be used to facilitate a Jimmy trade. Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree that the Raptors are going to be involved in facilitating trades. I just don't understand why Miami, I don't know if you missed the top of this, but I don't understand why Miami would do that. Why is Miami taking Bruce Brown and Chris Middleton unless there's a ton of picks? Or not a ton, but some picks. There's going to be some asset that Pat Riley, who is washed, as he said, that they would agree to do it. Stubb was saying, I was wondering, same thing for Cleveland. I just don't want to mess with the chemistry. Yeah, I was listening to, oh my gosh, I think it was Bobby Marks on the Kevin O'Connor podcast, and Bobby Marks was saying like when was the last time a player was added to a contending team and made like a significant difference mid-season. I thought that was kind of interesting. I don't know how much it would mess with the chemistry. I mean, Cam Johnson seems to be like the ultimate professional, right? He's already had this role in Phoenix where it was like, hey, can you just like defend and knock down threes? And he's only gotten better as a three-point shooter. So I think it could make a lot of sense there. Memphis, again, is another team who they've just got like, they are built to consolidate. I pointed this out the other night during the 89 Cavs show. That game on Martin Luther King Day, Memphis played 10 guys over 10 minutes in that game. I think they played a total of 12 guys, but like 2 of them were like under 5 minutes. They played 10 guys in their rotation. They just got G.G. Jackson back, who looked nice. So Memphis is a key candidate to consolidate if they want to. Interesting thing about Memphis is they don't trade their own picks. So if I don't think they've traded their own first round pick in like a decade. This front office is very good at acquiring other people's picks, and they move those to make moves, but they do not trade their own first round picks. And yeah, Stubbs saying Cam to Memphis would be scary. Yeah, I think so. I think it makes sense. Tessa said the Thunder need a similar one. What move would you make for OKC to consolidate some of their picks into a veteran playoff level contributor? Yeah, I mean, that's why like Cam Johnson would make sense there, but I just think they already have that rotation down. I guess they could add more shooting. I just don't know. Like, are they sacrificed? Would you just say, okay, listen, Dort, like, isn't Dort and Caruso don't play as much if you add Cam Johnson? I actually think the consolidation happens in the offseason for OKC. I think it makes a little bit more sense in this offseason to make that move where they can wait and see if like another star gets a little disgruntled. But I don't know. I honestly think the way that not everybody take a drink, the way that the CBA, the second apron, is designed, I think it's just really hard for these teams to make those kind of big moves because like everything needs to line up perfectly in order to do it. I'm thinking of the scene in like Apollo 13 where they're just trying to land this little fucking thing in there. That's kind of what's happening. Snoop saying I never realized how big Bane is. Desmond Bane, I think, is like one of the most underrated players in the league right now. I love Desmond Bane's game. But anyways, yeah, so that's it for the smoke right now for some of the trade stuff. Again, I think it sounds like the Jimmy Butler stuff is picking up steam. Again, I want to know what Miami's getting in return that makes them want to do this outside of just being like, we don't want to have Jimmy here. We'll look at Miami's game here in a second and we can look at his log line since returning. But anyways, I don't know if you guys have other trade smoke, throw it in the chat. Let's get into Kel'el Ware night, guys. I am just over the moon that the Kel'el Ware thing happened because sometimes you plant the flag, right? You plant the flag and it's in January and you're like, well, it's easy to be like, hey, this move wasn't the flag we planted wasn't until February anyways. But as you get closer, you're like, what did I do? Did I screw this up? Last night, we saw it actually 2 games ago. 2 games ago, Haywood Highsmith only played 8 minutes in the first half. And then in the second half, Kel'el Ware got the start over Haywood Highsmith. Now, there's a lot of speculation. That game was against the San Antonio Spurs. Maybe they were like, Bam's not big enough to stay with that lanky, slender man and Victor Wembanyama. Maybe that's why they put Kel'el Ware out there. Then there was a little bit of rumblings. And then Eric Spoelstra, before the game yesterday, said something like, yeah, we know Haywood Highsmith's important to us. We're going to figure out his minutes. Don't worry. He's going to be a main contributor. And then bang, bang, the tweet comes out that Kel'el Ware in the starting lineup next to Bam Adebayo. And now all of that offseason content that we did about why this was like a sneaky potential play was not because of Bam being bad. It wasn't that, right? We were just like, I think at some point, because Kel'el Ware can knock down the 3-point shot, we're going to see Ware start next to Bam. So like at worst case scenario, he was going to play the backup 5 because we knew Thomas Bryant wasn't going to work out. But if he does begin to start, all of a sudden the upside looks crazy. Now, Miami did lose this game 116-107. Miami dropping a game at home to Portland is hilarious, but part of the reason was Dom Ayton returned. DeAndre Ayton, 22 and 15 in this game, okay? 22 and 15, 11 for 14 from the field. Anthony Simons, who had missed a ton of games, he dropped 24 in this one. Jeremy Grant had 18. Denny Avdia with the trade candidate, double-double, 16 and 10, also 5 dimes, and they got 12 and 11 respectfully from Sharp and Banton. Look at Kel'el Ware, my son, 20 points. 15 boards in 39 minutes, added 2 blocks to this as well, going 2 for 6 from 3, 8 for 17 from the field. This is what I was pretty impressed with. 17 field goal attempts with all of these guys on the court. I'm telling you, man, let's go. Kel'el Ware. Now, if they end up, we were talking about Kevin Love probably being moved. It's not like Kevin Love's playing a ton of minutes, but it's another big they're removing from the rotation. If you are in the best ball streets, if you're in the SORARE streets, and even last night he put up 44 underdog points. So even in the daily stuff, Kel'el Ware is like a force to be reckoned with, especially if they're just going to play him these minutes. I mean, 39 was juicy. I don't know if we're going to see 39 every time, but you look at their bench, man. Highsmith only played 4. Jovic played 35. Burks 13. Jaime Hawkins 28. Pele Parson 15. So you got to think, man, Ware is going to be playing 30 plus. Now, they were without Hero, but I think that affects more of Alec Burks and Scary Terry and Pele Larson than it does Kel'el Ware. So listen, Stan Loves, I don't know if you were watching this morning. Heat culture might be down, but Kel'el Ware up. Vibes are up. And I'm so stoked, man. Obviously, we had like 30% of them in best ball. We get some SORARE cards, but it was just, guys, it's fun to have a take that worked. Okay. We got plenty of L's out there. Good to get a W on Kel'el Ware. Matty Harrison said, remember how Bam really looked good in the Olympics next to a center? Took them long enough. Yeah. And like to Spoelstra's credit, I'm not saying he should have been doing this since day one. Like Ware was definitely raw. Like you can see him out of place a couple of times and still kind of finding his way on the court. But yeah, it just makes a ton of sense. I think it makes Bam a little bit more dynamic, who, again, Bam struggled last night. 12 points and 10 boards, only taking 10 field goal attempts. And then Jimmy Butler with 13 and 8 in this game. The Jimmy Butler experience has been tough since coming back. I think he hasn't really shown too much upside. I mean, he's out there. He played 27 minutes. That's the other thing, man. A close game, he played 27 minutes. Let's actually look at Miami's last couple of games here to like really, because I know everybody's like, well, Jimmy's back, baby. Jimmy's back. So he played he played against Denver, San Antonio, and Portland. So in the Denver game, how many minutes did he play? He played he played 33 minutes in this game, had 18 points, 3 boards, 2 dimes, minus 11. Also, Denver, man, on a heater right now. I know they played a shitty Philly team last night, but they look good. And then that Spurs game, which they won 128-107, he played how many minutes in this one? He played 28 minutes in this one, 8.7 dimes. So, like, the Jimmy stuff's over, man. It's Jover. So he's not really like, this is, even when Jimmy's not playing his best, he's doing better than that, you know? He's doing better than that. But anyways, man, I'm just pumped for Kel'el Ware. I think our best ball bags are going to be red hot. Again, did a video yesterday over on the Elite Fantasy Hoops channel. You should go check that out, where we looked at some potential second half stars to help out your fantasy teams and win a chip. So go check that out after this show's done, please. Tesla said Jimmy wearing Phoenix colored sneakers is the energy I'm bringing to work today. Respect it, man. Listen, it's cold enough. No one should have to go to work, you know, and I live in a cold, like, I'm used to the cold. It's not like I'm like, oh yeah, no, I live in the Northeast. Like, I'm used to winters. This is stupid. This is stupid right now. 8 degrees. 8 degrees. My nards are in my trots. This is out of control. Anyways, let's keep moving here. Let's get look, the battle of the bridge. Bing Bong versus Bookdown. Brooklyn. I don't know. I don't have a name for Brooklyn because nobody cares. They won this game 99-95. Knicks were on a back-to-back. They looked a little sleepy, and Brooklyn brought it. You know who I want to give some love to right now? DAngelo Russell, man. He's like, listen, he's not the best player of all time, all right? But 23 and 10 last night, 3 blocks and a steal, went 6 for 17 from the field, didn't even shoot the ball particularly well. After the game, D'Lo came out there and said, oh my God, Kel'el Ware Kel'el Ware Top Shot debut pumped to $7. That's breaking news in the chat from Top Shot Common Man. It's not often we get to do this these days, but come on. We are from the city and on the I love it. But anyways, and I'm paraphrasing here. I don't have the quote in front of me, but D'Lo after the game basically was like, I'm never going to take for granted the ability to play free basketball again and just be free out there. And there is something to that. Like, and I know Jeb, our guy, actually Jeb Bush, I'll share. Jeb is like, man, catnip to replying to tweets to shade LeBron. So Kobe stands are built different. But anyways, the quote was DAngelo Russell on his comfort level with the Nets. He said, "I'll never take being able to play free basketball like this for granted again." And then Jeb said, "Add D'Lo to the list of players happy they don't have to play with LeBron anymore." I mean, like, I get it. They're going to lose every game playing like this, but I get it. I get it. But shout out D'Lo, man. That's a lot of fun. I enjoy watching him play basketball. I don't think I'd want him on the Celtics, but I like watching him on tanking team just to cook a little bit, man, because he's still a bucket. Speaking of Cam Johnson, 2 for 9 from 3, not great, Bob. 16 points in there. Brooklyn now 14-30, trying to slide their way down the standings here. Get ready to learn some of these names here because we're going to see less and less of Cameron Johnson and Nick Claxton the second half of the year. Jalen Wilson is somebody who can fill up the stat sheet. Didn't really do it last night, but played 28 minutes. Also, Tyrese Martin had 13 and 7. He's someone, again, once like the full, when the full tank is on, he's somebody that's going to be helpful in the fantasy streets. For the Bing Bong Boys, you got OG now, back-to-back games where he did something. He had 20 points and 4 boards in this one. Also had 3 steals and a block. You got 25 and 16 from Cat. Also 5 turnovers, but he also had 5 stocks. Jalen Brunson kind of sat this game out, 7 for 18. He played 39 minutes because Tibbs is a psycho, but 17 points and 4 dimes in this one. And then Josh Hart did some, like old school Russell Westbrook stuff with Draymond Green stuff with 7 points, 9 dimes and 12 boards. Knicks, though, 29 and 16 now. Good win for them. This was a weird-ass game. Orlando and Toronto. We the North. The Raptors get the win 109-93. In the first quarter, Orlando at one point, I think, was up 25-5. They ended up winning that quarter 37-24. And then Toronto, look at this shit from Toronto. Then they held them to 13 in the second, 20 in the third, 23 in the fourth. And then Orlando just let go of the rope in the third quarter where they got outscored 40-20. Paolo Banchero. Here's something important for people to pay attention to. First game playing over 30 minutes here. He got up to 32 minutes, finished the game at 26 and 12. Orlando was without Cole Anthony, who missed this game, which was kind of a bummer. However, let's give Anthony Black some love here. The youngin has been really balling here. Stepped into the starting lineup, played 36 minutes, had 17 and 7, knocked down a triple. Really like Anthony Black's game. I think like 2 years from now, we'll be talking about him as a potential all-defensive team. Not defensive player of the year because Wemby's going to win it for the next 2 decades. But I do like Anthony Black's game quite a bit. Jonathan Isaac only played 5 minutes in this game. He got hurt, did not return. And then KCP gave him 20. On Toronto's side of things, though, everybody chipped in a little bit. RJ Barrett with a hilarious game. So he had 19 points and 8 boards. I believe he had 0 stats like 20 minutes into the game, which was pretty impressive. Scotty Barnes, near triple-double here, 17, 11, and 8. Scotty Barnes was a plus 21 on the court. Jakob Poeltl, a minus 26. You see Kelly Olynyk, the second unit bigs did a much better job than Jakob Poeltl. Kelly Olynyk here with 12, 3, and 3. Plus 39, which is crazy. Chris Boucher was plus 17. Grady Big Old Dick gave him 17. So good win for Toronto. Orlando now Orlando held on tight for a while, and we were praising them, rightfully so. I still think it's impressive that without Paolo for so long and now without Franz for so long, they were still managed to stay above 500. But they are now just 1 game over 500. And as we look at the standings, you're going to see some unfamiliar faces pushing their way up the Eastern Conference, which is going to make the playoffs a little bit spicier. Not maybe competitive, but spicier. Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic got a triple-double in the first 3 quarters of the game. Didn't have to play the fourth quarter. Paul George returned last night, but did he? Played 28 minutes, 11, 9, and 5. Drum Dog Millionaire got the start, only played 20 minutes. Tyrese Maxey didn't really play the fourth, still managed to play 34 minutes. He had 28 and 10. Yabusele had 22, 3, and 3 off the bench. But, man, it's a tough... Like, no Embiid. This is not a good team. They are now 15 and 27, 9 and 14. Paul George, Andre Drummond, Maxey, Eric Gordon, Kelly Oubre. Eric Gordon's starting games for this team in the year 2025. Obviously, they were without Embiid. Justin Edwards played 28 minutes. Yeah, it's just brutal stuff from Philly. MPJ had 19 and 6. He went for 3 for 6 from 3. Jokic with the 27, 13, and 10 trippy W. Christian Brown downtown had 20. And then, Jamal didn't really do anything. Neither did Russell Westbrook, just because they didn't have to play that much because it was a smoke show. AG, by the way, minutes has now ticked up over 20. He's at 22. He had 19. And then Julian Strother. Okay, now this call has not been as sexy, let's say, as the Kel'el Ware. And it doesn't have the same amount of upside now. But I just want to say his minutes have been going up. I know 26 because of the blowout. I would say he's probably playing 20 minutes a game. Let me actually look that up right now. What are Strother's splits here this season? Again, we can't take the full victory lap on the Strot. He's playing let's see. Oh, okay, he's 44% for the field, 38% from 3, 9 points, 2 boards, and 2 dimes a game. So whatever, we'll take it. We'll take the Strother. Good win for Denver now. 27 and 16, 11 games over 500, playing some good hoopy hoops. Let's cover Lakers Wiz, and then we'll quickly go over MLK Day. Steve's just saying we need Franzi back. Supposedly, we'll be back in 7 to 10 days. Now, are those business days or just normal days? Listen, in the NBA, in the association, every day is a business day. That's good for the Magic, though. Let's look at this game. Lakers win 111-88. Wizards actually kept this relatively competitive for most of the game. Also, I don't think I realized the Wizards only had 6 wins till right now. Alexander Sarsgaard. Alexander Sarr had actually a decent game in 27 minutes, 10.6 boards, 5 blocks. That's what I was impressed with, the 5 blocks. Pool Party gave him 15 and 7, 17, 6, and 4 from Bilal Coulibaly. Kispert 15 off the bench, but AD and LeBron cooked, man. LeBron a triple-double, 21, 13, and 10. Anthony Davis, 29, 16, and 5. Also had 5 stocks. Big day for AD. Lakers get that win. Let's quickly just go over. No, not MLK Day. Well, yeah, MLK Day. Excuse me. God, I'm sorry. I lost track of what day it is. Yeah, so Celtics won 125-85. Everybody's freaking out in Golden State. They won by 40. That's crazy. The Warriors with Steph Curry, I believe, have the 26th best offense in the league. That's not good, Bob. And I know they're without Mr. Kuminga, although they've been trying to trade Kuminga, so I don't know how they can say that. But the Buddy Hield come down has been real. Podziemski hasn't played in a couple of weeks. Moses Moody finally getting a little bit more run, but that's pretty gross. I want to talk Mavs Hornets, though, a little bit more, just because Mark Williams, this was an incredible game. This was the first one of the day. I watched this. Daniel Gafford looked like prime Shaquille O'Neal. 31 points, 15 boards. He had 7 blocks, 0 turnovers, only 1 foul, 12 for 15, 7 for 7 from the free throw line. What the hell? Kyrie with 33 and 4. On the Charlotte side, Mark Williams fouled the F out of people. He had 4 fouls in the first quarter. 4 fouls in the first half. Still somehow, this is how great Mark Williams is. Only played 30 minutes. Finished the game with 13 points, 13 boards, 3 blocks, and a steal, 2 dimes. I love Mark Williams, man. LaMelo at 23, 9, and 7. This was kind of a brutal Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde from the Dallas Mavericks, where they play this incredible defensive game Friday night against the Oklahoma City Thunder without Jalen Williams. Without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, of course, but still get a W there. Held OKC under 100 points, I believe. And then turn around and get smoked by the Hornets on Monday. Charlotte picks up their 11th win of the season. Dallas falls to 23 and 20. Back to some more Monday action. Detroit with a really impressive win. Cade Cunningham almost with the quadruple double, because Cade Cunningham, I talked about this on the 89 Cavs, which, by the way, if you missed the 89 Cavs on this channel, we dropped an episode on Monday. It was a lot of fun. Kristaps Porzingis clearly doesn't know who Martin Luther King Jr. is. That was a funny revelation. We had a clip of that. We had a really good time with it. But in this game, I mentioned Cade Cunningham. You know how sometimes a shooter gets hot and they do heat checks? Cade Cunningham does that with turnovers, man. There was a stretch in the second quarter, I think, where he turned it over 5 times. And then I don't know what kind of drug Cade Cunningham did at halftime. He came out and turned into Jordan in the third quarter. He finished that game 32, 9, and 7 with 10 turnovers, going 3 for 5 from 3, 12 for 22 from the field. Just a really impressive win for Detroit. on the road against a Houston team who's obviously top in the West. Sar Thompson played some really good defense. He finished with 11-9 in this one. Duren was 16-14, 6 stocks for Jalen Duren. Still trying to figure out, like, the Jalen Duren experience, where once a week or once every 2 weeks, Jalen Duren shows us a game where we're like, holy shit, man. He is, not an all-star, but he's close, man. And then we don't get it. And then he turns into Yusuf Nurkic for a week. But then he comes back and does it again. So if they get, like, the upside of this Detroit team is real. And again, if they feel like they've got a shot at moving up the East and they haven't competed in forever, they have the salaries, the space, and the assets to make a real move here come playoff time. But we'll have to wait and see. Beasley was 17 off the bench. Houston, Ahmed Thompson returned with 17, 6, and 5. He had 3 steals. Freddie Van Fuchs had 20 and 5. He also had 6 steals in this game, which is crazy. And then Tyree Easton's starting to cook a little bit too. He had 8 and 4 with 5 steals off the bench. A really impressive win from Detroit, where, again, beat the teams you're supposed to beat, but you get a win on the road against a Houston team who, is going to compete for the Western Conference Finals. Really impressive. Memphis and Minnesota, man. Insane stat from Minnesota, by the way, that I found. So Memphis wins this game 108-106. And Anthony Edwards missed a fadeaway 3-pointer at the buzzer for the W. Now, real quick, I want to read this stat to you. Because, and again, I'm not putting a ton of weight in this. This is from Michael C. Wright. Per ESPN research, Anthony Edwards is now 0 for 12 on go-ahead game-tying field goal attempts in the final 5 seconds of the fourth quarter or in overtime in his career. That's the second most misses without a make by any player since Edwards entered the NBA in 2021 or 2020-2021. Only LeBron has more attempts without a make, 0 for 19, during that span, which is crazy. Now, I think that has more to do with, like, offensive design and scheming than it does of like Anthony Edwards being bad. But if it was Jason Tatum that had that stat, we would be skewering him right now. Absolutely. Not only is he soft, but he's not clutch. Right? We'd be saying stuff like that. But because it's Ant-Man, the conversation changes. And again, it goes back to just, I don't think people think Tatum's cool enough to like him. And Ant has so much charisma and so much cool. We're like, well, dude, he's got Rudy on his team, right? Rudy Gobert's on his team. What's he supposed to do? Anyways, I'm not putting a lot of stock into that, but this game, back to the game, it was fun. Memphis, again, 108-106, outscored them by 7 in the fourth quarter, 15 in the second half. That was the difference. Ant-Man hit him with 32 and 4. Minnesota plays Dallas tonight, which should be fun. Rematch there of the Western Conference Final. Naz Reid just straight up outplaying Rudy Gobert. Naz played 33 minutes. Rudy only 25. He finished the game with 29 and 8. But again, Dante DiVincenzo is going to miss an extended period of time. I just think it's tough sledding for Minnesota moving forward. Julius Randle with 5 points, 11 boards, 7 dimes, 2 for 13 for the field, 0 for fucking 7 from 3. They're in trouble, man. On the Memphis side of things, this is what I was talking about. So Jaren Jackson Jr., 24 and 11. He's been awesome, by the way, this year. Ja had 19 and 7. Desmond Bane, 4 for 6 from 3 at 22, 6 and 5. Look at this shit, though. So they started Triple J, Jalen Wells, dark horse rookie of the year right now, BT Dubs. Zach Edey, John Morant, Desmond Bane. All right. They all played basically 20-plus minutes. Then Brandon Clark played 16 minutes off the bench. Santi Aldama played 15 minutes off the bench. Jake LaRavia played 15 minutes off the bench. Gigi Jackson II played 11 minutes off the bench. Luke Kennard played 20 minutes off the bench. Scottie Pippen Jr. played 14. That's crazy. That team is too deep. They got to make a move. They got to make a move. But good win for Memphis. Now they are 28-15. Timberwolves fall to just 1 game over 500. Let's see if there's anything else we got to cook from this. Bing Bong Boys beat the Hawks, I believe. Karl Anthony Towns didn't even have a good game in this one. Knicks 119-110. Trey had 27 and 6. Jalen Johnson. Oh, this is what we need to talk about. Jalen Johnson back, but looked a little rusty. Onyeka Okongwu is now the starting center, the starting big man. Starting big man right there. Mike in the chat says, nah, brah, I watch Wolves. Me too, Mike. I watched that game. Ant hits a lot of pressure shots. Ant is the most double-team player this season because no one else can make a shot. That's why he's taking it. Oh, yeah, man. I'm not disagreeing. Hold on. Yeah, don't let me sound crazy here. Anthony Edwards is awesome. The way that he has changed his game this year to turn into the best three-point shooter in the league right now. I'm not saying that, but he hasn't. He hasn't hit a game-tying, game-winning fourth quarter shot or overtime shot. He's over. So, I mean, that is also true. That is also true. But Onyeka Okongwu, starting center now. Flip the flippening. He's starting over Clint Capella. We'll see if that continues tonight. That's good news for the Bags. He finished the game with 14-9. But again, for Bing Bong, Jay Brunson, 34-6 in this one. Cat 13-9-7. Mikal Bridges, they got a good Mikal game, 26-4 as well. Good win for the Knicks. Love to see it. Let's see if there's anything else we need to hit on that game before we move around here. Pelly's won 123-119. No Zion in this game. Real quick, one of the funniest things the Utah Jazz did, and I mentioned this in the Elite Fantasy Hoops video that went up yesterday, so I apologize if you're hearing it again. Utah Jazz straight up comedy. So they played on Friday in New Orleans against the Pelicans. Zion played really impressive in limited minutes. Zion gets ruled out for Monday. That's fine. He had a cold. He's questionable tonight, BT Dubs. They were already without Lowry Markkanen, John Collins. They're missing a ton of guys, right? The Utah Jazz then rest Colin Sexton. They didn't even lie to us. They didn't say Colin Sexton had an injury. They said Colin Sexton is out for rest. They played on Friday. They didn't play again until Monday. They played in Friday at New Orleans. On Monday, they played in New Orleans. What was he doing? What do you mean rest? What was he getting into? Was he getting into the nightlife? What was he doing? Crazy work there by Danny Ainge. Danny Ainge, a bad boy. Anyway, Sexton didn't play. That was a fun game. And then the last game, Bulls beat the Clippers. Only thing notable about this was James Harden after the game was asked about, are you looking forward to playing the Celtics? And he was just like, I'm not looking forward to anybody. Clippers had to do a rare thing this week or last 2 weeks where they have to play 5 games in 7 nights due to the fires out in Los Angeles. So they they're stuck. They're stuck a little bit, and I think they're feeling it. Tonight they play the Celtics in Los Angeles, but they've already ruled out Zubac. They've already ruled out Kawhi Leonard. James Harden is questionable. Norman Powell is questionable. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Let's see what we got for the schedule tonight. Excuse me, guys. We're dying here. We're dying up here. So Detroit against Atlanta. Oh, no. Let's look at the standings and the schedule because Detroit plays Atlanta. We look at the Eastern Conference, right? So you see Cavs now a 6.5 game lead over the Celtics, who have a 2-game lead over the Knicks. And then the Bucks there, 3 games behind the Knicks for the 3 seed. The Pacers, just 1 game. After the Pacers' weird-ass start, they are now 8-2 in their last 10. 1 game behind the Bucks. Now, this is where it gets hot as hell. Hawks are 22-20. Pistons are 22-21, and they play tonight. The Pistons, it's almost February, and the Pistons might be not only in playoff contention, but out of the play-in, like a top 6 team. You see the Magic here. They've fallen all the way down to the 8 seed now as they are 1 game above 500. Hashtag Heat Culture in the 9. Bulls somehow still winning games. They're in the 10 seed. The Western Conference, though, we got OKC with a 7-game lead. Rockets now just a half-game lead over the Grizz. Nuggets, who are 8-2 in their last 10, 27-16. They're just now 1 game back behind the Grizzlies and a game and a half out of the 2 seed. Clippers and Lakers, Tinseltown, the 5 and the 6. Mavs here, 3-7 in their last 10. They're only 3 games over 500. They're in the 7 seed. Like the beam, 9-1 in their last 10. The hottest team in the NBA, the Sacramento Kings, they have now got up to the 8 seed. T-Wolves and Suns rounded out 9-10. Golden State Warriors, 5-5 in their last 10. They are playing 500 basketball. They are outside looking in. All right, let's look at the schedule. Let's look at the schedule for tonight. Yeah, dude, little prices going up at Little Caesars. Yeah, we got Cavs Rockets tonight. That'll be a spicy one. Phoenix and Brooklyn will not be spicy, although it's KD revenge. KD revenge. Minnesota and Dallas on ESPN. Honestly, listen, no disrespect. No Luka Doncic. Let's put Cleveland and Houston at ESPN. You know what I'm saying? But Minnesota and Dallas on ESPN. Cleveland and Houston on will be the game of the night. From a fantasy perspective, give me Charlotte and Memphis. 240.5 point total. A 5-point lead over everybody else there. Milwaukee at New Orleans. Utah at OKC. Yay. Walker Kessler, though, his rebound props might be fun. Golden State at Sacramento. Will Draymond Green step on anybody? And then Clippers and Celtics rounding us out at 10:30 tonight. So that's the action. Heard people calling Rockets Cavs the finals preview. Just what I heard. Listen, man. Listen, I'm ready for it, Nez. I'm ready for it. But yeah, we'll have some fun games tonight. Before we pop over to Underdog, we got to give you an update on Old Man Hoops, okay? Old Man Hoops last night, it was good. Old Man Hoops was good. We had a spicy game last night. A spicy game. And I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm gonna be honest. We won. We're now, after dropping our first 2 games, we're now 2-2 in the 40 and over league here in New York City. Last night, I think when they update the stats, because as we discussed on the 89 Cavs on Monday, I'm paying money for someone to keep track of my stats. That's essentially what we're paying for. Paying for the refs and then paying money for someone to keep track of our stats. I think when they update the website tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to be leading the league in 3-point shooting. We had another 4 triple make game last night. All right. Finished the game, I think, with 14 or 15. I can't remember because I went to the line a little bit. Are you still averaging 10? No, we're above 10 now. I think we're at 12. I think we're at 12 a game. And which doesn't sound like a lot, except we only score like 45 points a game. So that's not bad. But this team that we played last night was doing the most amount of shit talking. But I got to say, they were very good at coming up to the line, right, where it was fun. I think it is a very delicate balance. Like, for me, the reason I'm loving this league is everybody's trying really hard, but nobody's fighting, right? I'm just done with that part of my life where we're fighting over rec sports. There is a lot of like shit talk, but in a very fun way. And they were doing this thing last night, and they were a better team than us. So I don't know how we won this game, but they just kept turning it over. But every time one of our guys would go to the line, they would start like saying shit. And if a guy missed the first free throw, their whole team would be like, "Uh-oh, tacos for the gym." You know, like all the things that the arenas will do where if somebody misses both free throws, everybody wins a free taco. So they were yelling that every single time. Now, I personally think that's hilarious. I think that's very funny. My team was a little bit more sensitive to it, and they were getting pretty frustrated. Anyways, we have a 4-point lead with like 8 seconds or 10 seconds left or something. And I get fouled to send me to the line to try to slow the game down. And so we're going through the free throw rotation. Routine or whatever. Dribble, spin. And then as I come down here, I was like, wow, real fucking quiet now. And then knocked it down. It was game over. It was fucking awesome. It was awesome. But anyways, yeah, we're having fun. I think we're going to be leading the league in shooting. I do think 2 things have happened so far in this league. Our first 2 games, I think we played the 2 best teams in the league, and we got waxed, whatever the right phrase is. Second 2 games, we won, but I think we have next week off. In 2 weeks, I think we're playing a good team again, so my confidence level will be back down in the pooper. But fun for now. This is fun. It's the best $225 I've spent in a while, especially considering my record on Underdog lately. So that's a professional transition, by the way, because now we're going to head over to the dog app here for a little bit. Let's go check out on Underdog here for a second. Oh my God, did I mess up my the background? I messed up the background. This is so embarrassing. So embarrassing. Hold on one second. Bang. There we go. All right. So tonight they get the Dog Bowl. The Dog Bowl is back. And I want to thank Underdog for a couple of reasons here. One, they made it a $25 entry to try to win a contest here to get to San Diego. Slam Diego, some are saying. Shout out to Badge Bros. Listen, when it's $5, when it's $10, I'll enter so many. $15, I'll enter so many of them. Somehow, when it gets to 25, my brain short circuits, and I'm like, I can't do that. So now I'm only going to do like 10, 12 bullets tonight, probably. We've already done a couple of them. And they also changed it from a 10-man rotation, 10-man draft to a 6-man draft. So hopefully it feels a little bit easier tonight. I've done a handful so far. I'm kind of playing it as Zion is in, Jalen Johnson is in, James Harden is in. Don't really know about Jalen Williams, but he's going late enough that YOLO. So it should be fun. But you guys aren't here for that right now. We're here for pick'ems. Wait, why do I have more money in my account? Oh, is it Rakeback Day? Is it Rakeback Day? Let's go to transaction history. Did we get to, $156? Rakeback, baby. Let's do a pick 'em. I also have a 50% boost. Here was some of the stuff that I was looking at, but I'm not going to use it yet. Maybe we'll save it. So does the chat have any pick 'ems? Because I got to use this 50% boost. Also, by the way, if you guys aren't following Nez Nez been tweeting out some banger pick'ems. We finally got a W last night, so shout him out. Make sure you're following this. All right, what do you guys have for me tonight? I was looking at Jalen Green assists at 2.5. Jared Allen coming off a pretty disappointing performance without Evan Mobley the other night. However, man, he's going up against the Goon, Şengün, maybe a little Tyrese too, which is scarier. I feel like Jared Allen should be able to get us to 14 points. No, I also think you could like. What do you think? What if he gets to 20 points? It's 3x. That's kind of spicy. We're not going to use the boost on that. But what do you guys have for me? Anything good? Anything good for the chat here? Naz Reid points. That's a great call. That's a great call because the Rudy time is over here. Naz Reid, 14.5. Let's do it. Let's do it. Well, can we boost that up to? No, I wanted like a 15.5 where you get like 1.1x. I'm going to leave Jared Allen in there. Jalen Green assists I'm going to take out for now, just because that one makes me nervous. Walker Kessler points. Okay, I wanted to look at Walker Kessler. I was actually a little bit more interested in rebounds here. They're 10.5, and that's 1.04, whereas points 8.5. The other thing we could do is points and rebounds. What does that give us to 20? Maybe we do points and rebounds here. Again, with Jalen Williams questionable, J-Dub, they're without Hartenstein, right? They're without Chet Holmgren. So he's basically going up again. They just need to keep this game close enough that it works here, that he should have no problem getting rebounds in this game, right? And we know Utah can't hit shots. So let's do points and rebounds here. Maybe we'll get some putbacks. I like that. Maybe we just do these three since it's a 50% boost. Allen points, Naz Reid 14.5 points, Walker Kessler points and rebounds. Anybody mad about that? Anybody mad about that? Let's do it. I think we're gonna put 58 on it, just for an even number, for 493. Let's do it. Let's do it. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Is it going to actually let me let me do the pick? Hell yeah. Normally it tells me I'm using a VPN or something like that. Oh, we got Jordan Santago. Let's go, Jordan. Good to see you, man. I'm going to share that link into the chat right now if you want to tail along. All right, so normally on Dog Bowl days around noon or 1 p.m., I do another show where we just like draft for an hour. It's going to be a real TBD today because, as you can see, I sound like I've been swallowing full cigarettes. The combination of talking too much and getting too cold and me screaming at people last night to flash middle because they were playing zone. Yeah, I'm that guy. So I'm going to wait and see how this feels after doing the show this morning. So we'll have to TBD. But I appreciate you guys tuning in today. Again, we'll have the NBA Bit return on Friday at 9 a.m. And then we'll also have Live Before Lock. And if you guys could do me a favor, we dropped a new video yesterday. It's a quick one. It's only 10 minutes. So go check it out. It's breaking down some second half basketball heroes, must-add players, which I'm just realizing now there was a typo in the name, which is really embarrassing. But just shared a link to that in the chat. If you guys could do me a favor, go check that out. Drop a comment, smash a like, do all those things. But yeah, stay warm, Stubbs. Good luck tonight with Cleveland and Houston. Some good hoops tonight. I'm excited for it. Some good hoops tonight. So we'll be back later this week or maybe later today. Who knows? We are officially out.